Good afternoon, and welcome back to another episode of Hoops After Dark, even when the sun is still up. Isn't that crazy? Today, I am going to be joined by my good friend Mike Cooper. Mike, everybody say what's up, brother.
What's up?
Um, we are unfortunately don't have Sam, but our hearts and prayers are with my guy, man, Sam K. Killer Sam K. I can't speak today, but we're gonna just be. This is gonna be a quicker episode today, guys. We're gonna be talking a little bit about Game Four, the big meltdown from the Spurs, the giant comeback from the Knicks, how rowdy it is in New York, just a bunch of different things, and a couple of off-brand NBA topics just for today. So Cooper, you want to give them the stats from the Game Four? Hit them up. Hit them up. Let's get right on into
So
it.
I will say before we get into the details of like the collapse by the Knicks and the question of is it the biggest meltdown in sports history, um, did you hear or see any of the stipulations for Knicks fans who are getting these free tickets to the games? And do you know
No, I
why
haven't heard.
So the stipulation number one that because this was talked about, I heard a lot of talk about it yesterday, so I thought it'd be interesting to bring it up. Is stipulation number one is the celebrities or whoever it is that gets free tickets from the Knicks cannot leave the game regardless of score. So that's why all of those celebrities were still there.
Damn.
uh, and the stipulation number two is they can't talk bad about the Knicks on any platform they go on. If they talk bad about the Knicks or they leave a game early, they lose rights to getting free tickets. They have the rights to purchase them, but they have to get rid of them. So the big hoopla about the crowd still being there and into it, if celebrities were allowed to leave, they would have been gone.
hmm When I tell you guys, man, this game was truly. It looked like it was over in the first quarter. It really did. It looked like Wemby had complete control of the game. Stephon Castle was playing good. Devin Vassell wasn't missing shots. Champagnie wasn't missing shots. Dylan Harper is an absolute dog. We have to give that man his credit. And we'll talk a little bit more about that when we get into the Spurs meltdown because Dylan Harper, like I said, dude, it was just he's such a dog and he's going to be such a star in this league bearing injury.
We can save this for later, but have you seen the debate now? Would you rather have Dylan Harper or Cooper Flag?
Oh, I have seen bits and pieces of it, but still the answer is still Cooper Flag, but I understand why people are talking about it. I really do. Because Dylan
I
Harper is just an absolute dog, but Cooper Flag, the potential is just way too high. I
Well,
couldn't pass on someone like him.
only reason I bring it up is like switch their situations. It's how does Dalen Harper do on a not so good Mavs team, and I'll say it because they team, but how did how does he do or in a Concanipule situation where the team's maybe not as good? If you were to switch them into the Spurs situation, how did they in that situation? Because everybody
Uh,
handles it differently.
Everyone handles it differently, and it's really easy to go and say, "Oh man, he would be this and he would be that." It would be an interesting situation, just given how good Harper is playing right now. He would be a very solid player, but I'm not quite sure about the impact. Cooper Flag has insane impact on the Mavericks. Like they run the offense through that kid.
Could
Like,
you imagine him with Wemby though?
oh, now that would just be unfair because Cooper Flag has insane offensive potential. Wemby completely changes and erases shots, and it just changes the way people play as a whole. So easy to say, yeah, the situations would be different, but I do think if Cooper Flag was on the freaking Spurs right now, I don't know if this would be much of a series because when Wemby doesn't have it going, Cooper Flag will, and then you have the other pieces around him, Stephon Castle, etc.
Could you imagine the backcourt of Fox and Castle with
Mm,
Wemby and Cooper Flag, and then
mm.
whatever other piece they want to put next to it?
They give Devin Vassell, just throw in Devin Vassell and have Keldon Johnson come off the bench. Insane.
I will say before we start talking about it, this is an NBA Finals topic. If you're a Mavs fan, happy 15th anniversary from when they beat the People's Goat and the Super Team in 6 in Miami.
That was a Dirk really was one of the most underappreciated players in our generation. Dirk Nowitzki
I will.
is absolutely 100% in my and is just goated to me because of that run alone. He was so
I will.
unconscious. He
I
was
will
insane.
die. I will die on that hill saying that was the greatest finals run of all time. Of the teams that he had to beat to. So first round he beat Brandon Roy and LaMarcus Aldridge. Second
Who were
round he
at the
swept.
peak of their powers, by the way.
Second round he swept Kobe and Powell.
Insane.
Conference finals he beat KD, Harden, and
Westbrook.
Russ, and then he beat LeBron's super team in Miami.
So when people underestimate how good the Blazers were. The Blazers, I thought they were going to beat the Mavs because LaMarcus Aldridge is one of the great mid-range assassins that we've ever seen. And Brandon Roy, at the peak of his powers, was he not a top 3 shooting guard in the NBA? He was.
Oh, Brandon Roy is one of the most. If you want to say Dirk is very underappreciated, Brandon Roy is probably one of the most underappreciated guards in NBA history. From what he did,
barring injury,
when he was healthy, he was a superstar, best player in the NBA. Arguably up there with Kobe. I mean, you could put him up there in the Kobe Dwayne Wade conversation.
You're not going to get an argument out of me. Brandon Roy was insane. He had insane confidence, a supreme athlete, clutch shot maker. There was just nothing. It's just bad that his body failed him in so many different ways because Brandon Roy was awesome.
That Mavs team lost 5 games in the whole playoffs.
Insane. And 2 of them were in the finals. They beat
the Blazers in 6. Oh, where'd Dre go? There he is. You're back. It was Blazers in 6, Lakers in sweep, beat the Thunder in 5, Heat in 6.
Insane. The Mavericks had no business competing the way that they did. And Dirk Nowitzki, like I said, he just turned on a switch that I don't think I've ever seen before, you've ever seen before, and the world will probably never see again. The dude was unconscious.
And keep in mind, they were down 2-1 in that series against the Heat too.
Yeah, I was about to say they lost. I know they lost 2 games right off the bat, and Dirk, like I said, just flipped a switch and turned into.
It was that. It was when Dwayne Wade and LeBron started mocking him when he got the flu. They won 3 straight.
Yep, that's what you get. Don't poke the bear because Dirk Nowitzki shows you that he's a bear, and don't poke him. That's what you get.
So only reason I bring up that team is because if you talk about like teams that may have not, before we get into detail of like Game 4 and obviously and what this finals is, like if we talk about teams that may not have that like appreciated superstar talent like Dirk was, like if you look at how that team was built, you had Jason Kidd, you had Sean Marion, Tyson Chandler. They had great Josh Howard. They had great role players on that team. And that's what this Knicks team is. The Knicks have very good, they have an underappreciated superstar in Jalen Brunson. They have a very good center in Karl-Anthony Towns. And they have underappreciated role players in an OG Anunoby and a Josh Hart and Mikal Bridges. Like, they don't get their flowers, and that's what I think is like setting themselves apart from what the Spurs are. They have the veterans who want to be there. Yes, they have championship experience in college, but they have guys that are vets who've been there for a long time that are finding their groove. Will they ever get back there again? Because that Mavs team did it. Will the Knicks ever get back there again? I don't know. But this is their time to shine, and it's incredible. Because if you look at, at one point, they won 13 games in a row?
It was 13 games in a row in the playoffs, and the average margin of victory was like 12 points. They were beating the crap out of people, and after they had that first round scare against the Hawks, it was really just a switch that was flipped. Let Karl-Anthony Towns handle the ball more. Let Jalen Brunson conserve his energy until the fourth quarter so he can be Mr. Clutch. There are just so many different things, and you couldn't be more right about the Knicks. They're a perfect mix of role players. And And I think it's time to give somebody his flowers. I don't even think he's a role player. OG Anunoby. That guy is an absolute just underrated. I think he's a star. If we really want to
Oh,
put who the MVP is of this series right now, if it's not Brunson, it is OG Anunoby. The dude
I
is
think
insane.
I would say I think he's the betting favorite to win Finals MVP right now.
After his 34 points on only missing 5 shots throughout the night, listen, and he had the game-winning tip in.
They
He's
have Brunson.
six.
They have Brunson as the favorite, then OG as second.
He's 6'8", 230-ish pounds of pure man. The dude is just huge, and he's fast. He's nimble. He has a beautiful looking jump shot. He can defend. OG Anunoby is the perfect secondary quiet superstar because he's so humble at the same time. So OG
I
is
mean,
probably my
you can.
favorite player on the Knicks right now.
Oh, mine too. And I think that what we miss too is like the little things that like Mikal Bridges does, and the underappreciation of the little things that Josh Hart does. Like, not every team has that buy-in and the guys that know their role. And that's why like I brought up that team not only being this anniversary of the Mavs, but they were built very similar, right? Like they have role players who bought in, who are gonna win you games, and you know how I mean everybody remembers that big shot Jason Terry hit over LeBron in Game
Yes.
5. You know,
Yes.
like people are gonna remember OG Anunoby's tipping. People are gonna remember what the plays that he made. Like to me, the block was bigger than the tip in. The block, I mean, De'Aaron. We can talk about the De'Aaron Fox play if you want, but the block on De'Aaron Fox is bigger than what the tip in was. It set up the whole sequence.
It set it up. That's why, remember Kyrie's big shot against the Warriors. LeBron's defense
Yep.
shot making possessions before set all of that up. All of that up. So that's where I agree with you. The truth is OG Anunoby he's just a stud, and he does his job and he wants to go home. And I like it. And
And
he's the perfect complement to Jalen Brunson.
so let's kind of hit on that. So everybody thought the Knicks were dead. I thought they were dead in our group chat. You thought they were dead. The Garden thought they were dead. They were down 29. They gave up 41 in the first quarter. They were down 27 at the half. The Spurs
Mm,
made 11 of their first 16 3-pointers, and Victor
mm,
Wembanyama looked like he was about to turn the Madison Square MSG into his personal coming out party. The way he was
mm-hmm.
talking shit, the way that he was pointing to his head, it was his coming out party. And the Spurs got up by as many as 29 in the third. They were up 81-52. And the series looked like it was about to go back to San Antonio 2-2.
And it
And
was
then,
Cooper. It really was. And it was just when Wemby turns it on. Let's just talk about that for a second. When Wemby does turn it on, there's nothing you can do. Not a single thing you can do because he's just bigger, he's nimble, he's a good shot maker. He hits that mid when he gets that jump shot falling, good lord, get over it. So to your point earlier, the Knicks better do it now. You better do it now because when I'm telling you guys, this is his worst this is as bad as you're going to see Wemby, and that is insane considering he's averaging over 25 in the finals right now.
and
So,
like you kind of hit on when we were talking off camera, like Wemby, Wemby played 44 minutes in a game that was a 30-point that should have been a 30-point blowout. Every
and
starter
that's
for
coaching.
the Every starter other than Stephon Castle played over 30 minutes. Uh, three of the five played over 35 minutes, and you can argue that Harper was a part of that. He played 32 minutes off the bench.
And shout out to Mitch Johnson. They won 60 games this year. He was in line to win Coach of the Year. You have to, and he's a rookie coach. People misunderstand that he's a young rookie coach. He's got a young rookie. He's a young rookie coach. Wemby's only in his third year. So he's a
I
young
think so.
superstar. He's a young superstar. Stephon Castle can't be more than 22, 23 years old. Dylan Harper's a baby. he made the ultimate cardinal sin in coaching, and that is not protecting your biggest asset. Wemby playing 44 minutes in a 29-point game in the third quarter, Cooper. 29, they were up 29. Wemby should have been sitting out. His minutes should have been around 40 or to 39 to 40 because you needed Wemby to have all of his energy to close out the game. Because had Wemby had more energy, that last second tip in that OG got, Wemby probably would have went in there and got that, or at least put a hand up in it.
So
But he was so tired.
I got a question for you on this on the Wemby side. Do you think Mitch Johnson's during the season his usage of Wemby and only playing him 29 minutes a game is starting to come back to hurt them because Wemby is tired at this point?
I'm going to say I'm going to side with the coaches here. You have somebody who is 7'4" with over an 8-foot wingspan. I do think the minutes restriction was more so of like a play on his body, just to see can this guy handle X, Y, and Z? Can this guy go night after night to doing X, Y, and Z? I guarantee you next year, barring any injury, Wemby will start creeping up in that 30 minutes per game type of game.
So if we look at, so I'll take out last year because he got hurt. I mean, he was playing significant minutes, but he got hurt. So rookie year, Wemby played 29.7 minutes. Even last year, playing 46 games, he's playing 33 minutes a game. This year, he only played 29.
And every single year when Wemby is on the court, his plus minus is through the roof. And the opponent's net rating goes down by a mile. So,
the only reason I'm bringing that up is because I'm not saying, hey, play Wemby 40 minutes a game. I don't mean it like that. But when the grind of the playoffs and you're playing these higher leverage minutes, and 30 minutes in the playoffs is like 50 minutes in a regular season game with the intensity, the adrenaline, the pressure that's on you. Playing over 40 plus minutes in all of these games, probably since the beginning of the OKC series, barring the couple games that were blowouts. Is that really taking a toll? Because it kind of seems to be.
It has to be because at the end of the day, Cooper, he's 22 years old. He has a lot of energy. You remember being 22 years old. I had insane energy at that age. But even still, 40 plus minutes against grown men. Wemby, he just shouldn't have played 44 minutes in a 30-point game. You got to get him down, get that, take advantage of the TV timeouts. That's just coaching. You have to know when your TV timeouts are coming. Okay, Luke Cornett, go ahead and get up in there, man. I need Wemby to get a rest before we close out the game. And Luke Cornett should have played 20 minutes. How many minutes did Luke Cornett play?
He played 4.
Hello.
So
16 more minutes.
For the Spurs bench, you had Harper 32, Keldon Johnson 18, Carter Bryant 5, and Luke Cornett 4.
So you're telling me the sixth man of the year is only good for 18 minutes a game? Harper should have been playing more, in my opinion, and we can talk about that in a moment. Because this is not a shot for this is not a shot at De'Aaron Fox at all, because he's a great ball player. I've watched him pretty much his whole career. He's an absolute beast. He's been struggling, and Dylan Harper hasn't. Again, you have to understand, rookie, but right now, D Fox, he's playing better. He's getting me better shots. He's taking it right at Brunson's chest, and he's getting fouled. In that moment, you have Stephon Castle on the court, and this is not me trying to say I know I want to be an NBA coach, but still, we have to just look at the fact. Stephon Castle, Vassell.
Well, so me and Sam
Harper need to be on the court.
Me and Sam brought up the fact on our last one of they needed to go a small ball lineup, and it seemed to be effective. Early on, that's what they were doing. You're playing. If you aren't going to pull De'Aaron Fox, pull a Shanpenny, pull a Vassell, and you play Fox, you play Dylan Harper, you play Castle, you play one of either Champagne or Vassell, and then you play Wemby. And you space the floor and let Wemby do his thing.
Hello, Cooper. This is you guys just watching the games and being in tune with it. If the Spurs had gone to a small ball lineup, they probably would have kept a 15-point lead. You want to know why? You got extra ballers. You got extra ball handlers.
That's why me and Sam saying that like that's what they did in the first half, and that's what won them the game.
And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You're up by 29 points. Get your guards in the game. Make sure they handle the ball. Don't turn it over. Don't create negative, positive energy plays for the Knicks. The game was over. The game been over at 8:30. At 8:30 p.m., we should have been logging off our TVs. But instead, we're going to San Antonio. They have to win 3.
So here's Wemby in the playoffs in the second half, just the second half of games. He's playing 18 minutes, so 18 of the possible 24 minutes on average in 19 playoff games so far in his career. 12 points, 5 rebounds, and he's shooting 46% in the second half. So
Cooper, that is energy and gas. That dude has no more gas. As great as he is, his impact is the most when he's healthy and rested and has. When does he have the most juice? At the beginning of the game. Guess what happens at the beginning of the game?
In the first half, he's shooting 50% from the field and 35% from 3. In the second half, he's shooting 46% from the field and 33% from 3. And I know you've texted about his free throw shooting. His free throw shooting in the first half of games is 83%. His free throw shooting in the second half of games is 85%. So he's making his free throws when it matters. He just didn't make them mostly in game 4.
No, but like I said, a lot of things play in the factor to this. If maybe Wemby had gotten that rest, those free throws go right down the net. Luke Cornett playing 4 minutes in a 29-point game when your best asset is, needs to rest up, because guess what? Even if we win this game, we still have to go back to San Antonio to win another one. Period. Win the finals in New York. So I need Luke Cornett to get in the game. And so Wemby get a rest. It's just that simple. Those turnovers he had, the turnover he had, just to, when he threw it on Stephon Castle's back. I'm not trying to make excuses here, but he played a lot of minutes that game. Where was his rest? The guy needs to rest. He's human, just like the rest of us.
What did we say he was playing in the playoffs? 18 minutes in the second half, 18 to 20 minutes in the second half. In a regular season, in 63 games, he averaged 14 minutes in the second half.
And those numbers they're different, but those 4 minutes matter, because in an NBA game you got timeouts. We got to go to commercial, guys. We do this, we got to do that. That stuff matters. 4 minutes to a guy who's so big and so nimble and just tall. He has to get his as minimal as it can be.
And it's crazy. I'm on the boat, and I think I could see the Spurs winning tonight, and then the Knicks wanting to win this in New York. I think that they would play with fire, but that's just a personal opinion. But it wasn't a shot at your Falcons. I know you got upset when it got brought up that they were comparing it to the 28-3. And I told you I wouldn't talk about it, but since this is kind of relevant to it, this isn't taking a shot at you. Is this comparable to that, or is it different because blown leads like this in the NBA happen all the time? Maybe not on this scale, but maybe not on 30-point scales in the NBA final game, but 20-point leads go away quickly in the NBA.
Correct. And the reason why I think it's different, and again, trying to take my bias completely, the reason why I think it's different is because if the Falcons win that game, they win the Super Bowl. That's 100% win their Super Bowl. This was, no matter what happened tonight, there was going to be another game. No matter if they kept the lead or blew the lead, there was going to be another game afterwards. So that's where I think it's a little bit different. But we're talking on the scale of complete and utter meltdowns. Atmosphere, because we could go back and forth and pick apart the Atlanta game. Why not run the ball 3 times and kick a 50-yard field goal with Matt Bryant? I don't know. He was only kicking 91% for 91% there, but that's, and it's the thing with San Antonio. You feel the momentum shifting, get your ball handled, time to create space, go to the rim. They were in the bonus midway through the third quarter. I mean, midway through the fourth quarter with like 8 minutes left.
Even just going back to the first half, if you score 76 points in a playoff game on the road, let alone an NBA Finals game, that should be enough to win a game, regardless if you're up by 30 or not. When the ball,
but all that stuff matters. All that stuff matters when you take your foot off the gas. Has shown us that no lead is safe, and the Spurs just learned that no lead is safe. I bet you they won't do this. I hope they won't do this again, but I hope they will use it as a learning experience.
Talking about the second half, the Spurs scored 30 points in the second half. By the way, if you bet the team total for the Spurs, you lost, because the team total for the Spurs was 106.5, and they had 76 at halftime, and you lost.
But and if you took the over 216, you lost that too, because it hit 216. Jesus.
But just looking at the breakdown of the splits between the two teams, the Spurs scored 30 points. They shot 8 for 39 from the field in the second half, which is 20.5%. They were 3 for 17 from 3 after going 11 for 16 in the first half, and they were 11 for 14 from the line. The Knicks scored 58 points in the second half, were 21 for 41 from the field, 11 for 20 from 3, and 5 for 5 from the free throw line. Wemby in the second half had 8 points, 7 rebounds, was 3 for 14 from the field, 1 for 3 from 3, 1 for 4 from the free throw line, and had 1 block. De'Aaron Fox, we can talk about his decision to shoot that layup here in a second, but he had 5 points, 4 rebounds on 2 of 8 shooting in the second half. And then Vassell was 1 for 4. Stephon Castle only took 1 shot in the second half, even though he went 8 for 8 from the free throw line.
And Dylan Harper took no shots.
Nope.
Not one. We're just going to bring it to Johnson coach. If you see De'Aaron Fox is struggling and Dylan Harper isn't, unfortunately, you either get one of two choices. You're going to have to live with that, which he's doing right now, or pull the freaking trigger. Get a young kid in the game. That Dylan Harper was attacking the basket and getting fouled. The formula was simple. Or if you wanted to keep Fox on the floor, get Dylan Harper in the game. He's not taking a shot when he has proven the big shots in the fourth, all playoffs. Now Dylan Harper not taking a shot in 10 minutes, blowing. The dude is an efficient monster. He doesn't ever look tired, and he doesn't ever stop going to that rim.
So he had 21 points on 8 of 12 shooting, 3 of 6 from 3 in 32 minutes.
And imagine we had just given him 40. You might have won that game by 50. Dylan Harper needs to be in the game, and I'm very sure in the future Dylan Harper will have the ball in his hands more often. It's just tonight we learned, man, the pressure of the playoffs really can get to you if you're playing tight. And obviously it showed with De'Aaron Fox too.
Let's talk about De'Aaron Fox for a second and that decision to shoot and go to the rim instead of pulling it out. You played basketball for a long time. I played basketball for a long time. What was going through his head to go to the rim in that situation? And I mean, you and I both know you pulled that out. You let them foul you. Was that just I don't want to say selfish, but it kind of was selfish? What decision making kind of went into that, in your opinion?
I see both sides of the coin, right? I see both of them, because in that moment you're only up one, a wide open layup in, and I'm not looking at G behind me. I'm looking at securing this ball, going up and putting my three. And by the time he fully gathered the ball, OG was on a full dead on sprint. So I guess I can see why he because to be hit the big shot. That's where I think the selfish key matters. He wanted to hit the big shot after playing so bad, et cetera, et cetera. However, you pull that ball back out, Cooper, and I tried to put myself in the situation. I'm like, all right, Dre, we got game on the line. I know I'm on. There's 9 seconds left. I pull this ball out. It wastes another 3 to 4 seconds because now they have to come out to the 3-point allow me. And then I go make and then is at 80% go make 2 free throws. It's the same scenario.
Because I'm on the same page as you. Like in my head, I probably would have pulled that out, let them foul me. One, knowing that we're on our heels. Especially being a point guard like De'Aaron Fox is. You have to know your team. Your team's on the road.
We're getting our ass whooped right now.
Take it out, slow it down, pause for a second, go to the line, knowing that I can make 2 free throws, and whatever happens if you go up by 3, if they hit a 3 to tie it, then that's different.
You live with it because that's a big shot.
Yeah, you like you just said, you live with it. But in that situation, like, I just don't know too. Like, like you said, he wasn't playing well. Maybe it was a thing for him to be a star in the moment. But man, I just don't understand the thinking on it.
Yeah, it's a tough situation all the way around. But he wasn't well, so Mimo was like, "Go be great, get this bucket," and OG sent it, and it's just. Once that happened, Cooper, it was like, okay, that's game. You're gonna hit this shot somehow. The Garden's gonna go crazy. The comeback is complete. Right there, when OG blocked De'Aaron Fox, the game was over. The game was over.
Let's talk about what we're looking ahead to Game 5. I did see one crazy stat put out by, I think it was either Vivid Seats or one of those ticket sites, that said that 55% of the tickets that have been sold for Game 5 have been to the New Jersey, New York area code. So the Spurs might be playing a road game at home in a closeout potential of Game 5. What is that going to do for them? Their fans are selling their tickets already, and it turns into a Knicks home game. What kind of mental thing is that going to do? Will they show up? Will they take it as disrespect? What kind of psychological?
I think psychologically you need to use it as fuel. Okay, y'all want to sell your tickets? I got another show to put on for you. Now you got to go buy tickets in New York if you want to see this show continue. Boom. And if you really, you know what I mean? Because I would just use it as fuel. It's part of the game. You're gonna have, because people change their minds all the time. There's a difference between a fan and a loyal fan. A loyal fan would have never sold their tickets. Like, I don't care. We live with the ship. You die with the ship. If the Mavericks were in the same situation, and I looked at you and said, Cooper, we still going to Game 5? Yes.
Oh, hell
yes,
yeah, we are.
Dre. Yes. We're going to Game 5, brother. I don't care.
If I had tickets, like you said, to Game 5 when they were down 3-1 to the Celtics 2 years ago, or 3 years ago, I guess now, I would have still went.
Yeah, we're going to go because we're loyal fans. So the Spurs, they need to just take care of their business tonight. I expect them to win. They need to take care of their business and find a way to win in the Garden one more time. Just find a way to win. If you can find a way to win tonight, you got to take it in stages. Stage 1 is win tonight. Stage 2 is find a way to win in the Garden with the crazy, because it is going to be a madhouse in New York if they go back to Game 6.
Yeah,
it's going to be a madhouse.
I think that if I were to give you a key to Game 5, I think that if we just put the pressure, the psychological test, all that aside, I think they need to find something from their bench.
Yep.
Like, they need to get Wemby off the floor. Yes, you need Wemby on the floor all the time. I don't mean it like that, but like you need to get him a blow. He can't play 44 out of 48 minutes. He can't. And I think you need to get something from Cornette. You need to get something from Carter Bryant. Why is Harrison Barnes not playing? Even just as a couple minutes veteran stabilizer off the bench who has championship experience. Why don't you
It's almost like they need the 6th man of the year. Oh, wait. They have him.
But not why what like if you look at the guys who didn't play, Harrison Barnes, Kelly Olynyk, Mason Plumlee, one of those can give you something for a few minutes if Cornette's not giving it to you.
I couldn't agree more.
Harrison Barnes, championship playoff experience. Kelly Olynyk, championship playoff experience. Mason Plumlee has been in the league for a long time. He knows how to play. If you can't get if you're only playing Cornette 4, you telling me you can't get 4, 5, 6 minutes from one of them? The Knicks found a spark in Jordan Clarkson, going deeper into their bench.
And they played Jose Alvarado. Dude, Jose Alvarado got some burn the other night.
Well, I mean, if you look at the Knicks bench, they went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
12.
They went 13. Jeremy Shohan played 3 minutes. Mitchell Robinson 13 minutes. He played somebody else. I can't pronounce his name. 3 minutes. Clarkson played 5. Shamet 21. Jose Alvarado 16. Miles McBride played 7. Like, you're getting contributions. Mikal Bridges, Karl Anthony. I mean, I know Towns was in foul trouble, so it's a little different. But Towns played 26 minutes. Bridges played 28 minutes. Hart played 33 minutes. Yeah, Brunson and OG played over 40, but you expect that from them. You're getting contributions in your other spots from everywhere off the bench. And that's why I think, like, if you're looking for a key to the Spurs other than being there mentally and not getting run off your home floor, because that could easily happen. They could just be mentally done. And it could be a 25-point blowout. This series is over. But
it wouldn't blow away either.
If you get past that point, you need to find something on your bench. Why not play Harrison Barnes for a couple minutes? Why not play a Bismack or Mason Plumlee or an Olynyk? Somebody's got to give you something. And, I mean, Harrison Barnes for you in the regular season averaged 10 points a game off the bench. And they played him. He's played in 2 games this series, and he played 21 minutes in both those games. And Mitch Johnson just all of a sudden decided to not play him in the last couple
It's
games.
young coaching. Mitch Johnson seems like a sharp guy. He will learn. He will get better. And I do think he is going to utilize his bench. He ain't got no choice. Tonight, you got to pull out all the stops, brother. Anything you know about basketball, you need to pull it out tonight.
Like, Harrison Barnes played in every game in round 1, 2, 3, and the conference finals. And he's not played since game 2 in the finals. And he only played 5 minutes in that game in game 2.
And it's not like the Knicks have an advantage, like say they're super big and Harrison Barnes just can't match up. No, Harrison Barnes can match up. They're the same size. So it's not it's really, in my opinion, it's just young coaching.
He went from playing 25 minutes, 26 minutes a game basically in the regular season in 77 games to playing 9 minutes a game in the playoffs and to getting 2 straight DNP, 2 straight DNPs in the finals.
Like, that seems like an easy paycheck to me, but hey.
Well, I'm not saying it's not, but I'm just saying, like, you have somebody that's been giving you something all season. Go find it. I get it. He's only shooting 23% from 3 in the playoffs. He's only shooting 33% from the field. But somebody's got to give you something at some point.
This is why analytics are killing basketball in a way. Sometimes you got to throw the numbers out the window and just go with what you got. Stop thinking about the numbers. Stop thinking about analytically. That's why Mike Brown played Jose Alvarado. He said in his conference speech, he said, I just felt like we needed speed. We needed speed out there. And so he ran with Brunson and Alvarado on the floor at the same time. You're not supposed to do that because that's a defensive liability for sure. But when we're talking about speed, handling the ball, getting the ball up the court fast, that is what they do.
Because, I mean, even if you just want to compare it, like you just said, like, they're getting something from Jose Alvarado. They're getting something from Landry Shamet. They're getting good minutes from Mitchell Robinson. I mean, that right there already puts you deeper than what the Spurs are getting. And you're not even tapping into anybody else they're getting a spark from. Miles McBride, great regular season player, 12 points a game in the regular season. Hasn't done shit in the finals. like, and that's your number 9. So you're already they're trying to find it too, but they're beating you at your own game, I think.
Yep. Because I do think the Spurs team is better. Like, if you want to go player for player, I do think the Spurs are a little bit better because Wemby kind of covers, I think, 2 of their players, in my opinion. But that is a debate for another day. The Spurs need.
Well, no, it's what is it that we've talked about pretty much throughout this whole NCAA tournament basketball since we started this podcast. Sometimes it's not the talent that wins games.
No,
it's the better team.
Yeah,
it's the better team that plays together that wins games.
The Villanova Knicks. What you're getting.
I mean, it's gonna be crazy. They get an NBA championship. I think Brunson has 2. He won 2 in college. I think
2 in college.
Bridges and Hart won 1. Brunson won 2, and then they're gonna get 1 with the Knicks
together. Like, that's a picture perfect story.
So here's a question for you that is an underrated story. Is Jalen Brunson one of the most decorated basketball players in the NBA if he wins the NBA Finals with 2 championships in college and 1 in the NBA?
Yeah, he's decorated for sure. Brunson is so he's undervalued as an actual player because even given his liability, quote unquote, on the defensive end, his ability to shot make. There's a reason Luka made it all the way, did what he did in the playoff. He had Brunson as his secondary scorer. There's a reason that Jalen Brunson has been successful at every single level that he's played. He has been successful because he is just he's a running back and an NBA body. He's literally a running back. Bull you, he gets over his right shoulder, left shoulder. He has counters for your counters. Jalen Brunson is a stud. And there is just nothing. You're going to have some real conversations here when he wins another ring, when he wins a ring.
He plays with such maturity. He doesn't let things get to him. He's not going to talk shit to get teed to the ref. He plays hard. He may be considered a liability on defense, but he
tries.
He gives you 110% every time he touches the floor.
And that is all an NBA fan could ever ask for in a star. To care, go on the floor, give everything you've got, and we'll live with the result. And what a result it's going to be.
And if we want to touch on the Mavs real quick, he's the first back Nico Harrison fumbled, not Luka. He's the first back. He's the first back because he lowballed the shit out of him.
Lowballed him, and Brunson looked at him like this. He said,
he got $155 million from the Knicks, and I think the highest offer that Nico offered him was like 60.
I was gonna say it was way below 100. I thought it was in the 70s or something like that. I said, Nico, your second best player is averaging 20 behind Luka, who's a superstar. You need that. You need it.
They offered him an extension at the trade deadline that year, 4 years, $55 million.
Jalen Brunson, and he proved his value when Luka got hurt. Do you remember when Luka was hurt?
Yeah.
Everything was going through Brunson. Yep. Everything was going through Brunson, and they were still successful.
So then the Knicks came. So the story is they offered him that at the trade right before the trade deadline. There were rumors that they were going to trade him. They offered him 4 for 55. He said no. He went on that playoff run when Luka was hurt. Then the Knicks came calling, said we'll offer you 4 for 155. And the Mavs are like, no, we'll offer you 5 for 150. And he basically told them to go fuck themselves and went to the Knicks.
Dude, and you didn't even get over the number that the Knicks offered. So I'm sorry. You're going to have to, Nico, you're going to have to swallow that pill because you fumbled. You fumbled, my guy.
So then that's why then they did the panic move that next year when they missed the playoffs and when he got Kyrie, and then they drafted Lively, and then they went to the finals. Then he fumbled Luka.
You had Luka next to two of the best scorers that the NBA has ever seen, and you fumbled them both, all three of them.
Yep.
He had Brunson. He even had a better score, in my opinion, than Kyrie Irving. We were just so concerned about Kyrie's health. But when Kyrie was at the peak of his powers, he's the best scorer in the world. Argue with the wall. His moves, his dribble moves, he can shoot it.
Finishing ability.
His lay package. Cooper, he is probably in my lifetime, I'm 32 years old. In my lifetime, I've seen a lot of great scorers. There's not one who's more aesthetically pleasing than Kyrie Irving. He has an insane highlight package. And he's going to go down as one of the best scorers of all time. Period, point blank. Argue with your mama.
Oh,
and then
agree,
we fumbled
100%.
Jalen Brunson too. Dang, fumbled the bag.
I mean, shit.
He had a championship in his pocket, and he fumbled it.
And if you're going to trade, we can go down this rabbit hole. We can do a whole episode on what we would do if we were him instead of trading Luka.
Oh my God. That was one of the worst moves I've ever seen in my life. But I digress. We're gonna move on.
Yeah, let's not open that wound for me, all right?
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that to you. You're a good man. You don't deserve that.
That's why I was being very apologetic, not trying to bring up the 21-3 or 28-3. But we had to. In this situation, we had to.
I get it. But because that was that game,
No, I know.
The all in all.
I'm just saying, like, it wasn't to take a shot at you. It's like you have to compare it to that. Like,
no, it's 100%.
What is your expectations for Game 5, and what do you think is going to, do you think the Knicks close it out, or do you think the Spurs actually answer?
The Spurs answer because they've met the entire playoff run. Every time we thought that the Spurs were out and needed a big time answer, they did. And I do expect this thing to go back to New York, and it'll give New York their perfect 53 some odd years closure that they won a title in New York. I truly feel bad for the New York Police Department if they don't win this game. The New York Police Department, holy smokes! If they win in New York in Game 6,
well, even if they win, I feel bad for them. Even if they win Game 5, they're gonna destroy that fucking town.
Oh my God, they're gonna go crazy. They were throwing eggs at Wemby when he was going to. Oh my God. Yeah, New York, NYPD, boys in blue. You have my prayers, all of you. You have all of my prayers.
Can we talk about if he does lose this in 5 after the meltdown in Game 4, and does this question anything that people are gonna have on Wemby? I don't think so.
No. And Cooper, if you judge me at the mistakes I made at 22 years old, you're not a good person, because we know at 22 we weren't even in the prime of our bodies. Like, Wemby's gonna get stronger. Wemby's now got playoff experience that he's probably not gonna do next year. He's probably never gonna miss a free throw again in the clutch. Like, there are things he'll improve on, and he still impacts the game in a way that nobody else has. So Wemby, when they beat the Thunder, I was telling one of my managers at work. I said, look, I don't really care if Wemby loses or wins this series. He's clearly going to win some in his future bearing injury. He is 100% going to be a champion. It's just a matter of when. It's not if. It's when.
I was listening to a talk show yesterday, and they said after this is their opinion, not mine. They said after the OKC series, kind of like how we did, that they put the over/under for titles for Wemby at 2.5. In their opinion. He said that after watching Game 4, that they dropped it to in their opinion, they think he may win one, but may not win more than one. They changed it to 1.5. Do you think that he wins more than one championship in his career?
100%. If I wish him good health because I want to see him at his full potential. So if people think at full healthy Wemby doesn't win more than one title, they're out of their freaking minds. You're just out of your mind because they're going to get better.
Their argument was OKC's not going anywhere. They compared him to, if I remember correctly, they compared him to Jokic. Jokic got his one championship, but he's a very decorated player, accolade-wise. And that's their opinion was that they think that that's the career path Wemby's going to take.
Nope. Because we see what Jokic is at the peak of his powers. He's a triple-double machine. Absolutely impossible to guard. We haven't even seen Wemby at the peak of his powers yet. We don't know how much better he's going to be. So, yes, it's easy to judge at someone's worst point. Judge them at their best. Wemby isn't even at his best right now. This is as bad as we're going to be, and he's still great. That's what I would have told those guys. We got to understand that. Wemby's still 22 years old. He was born in 2003. I was in the 3rd grade, dude. So the Wemby talk, I'm really going to just silence all of that because he's going to win championships. And people are, I don't think people are disagreeing with me on that. It's just a matter of how many.
They compared it. They said the Jokic path, and they compared it to the Giannis path too, because Giannis only has one.
Oh, what? No, because Giannis is going to be. Giannis has the potential multiple championships. Right now he's just in a situation. I don't think he do the whole put the team on my back thing anymore. I think he has to realize that. That's why I think when people say the Thunder aren't going anywhere, I disagree. That team is going to have a big change, and I think it's Giannis.
The rumors are heating up to him going to Boston.
Okay, we end the podcast,
and then moving off Jalen Brown.
We need to move the podcast. I'm done. I'm done. How does Brad Stevens do this?
Because
he can't keep getting away with this.
Because they've been talking about it. I've seen it on Twitter for the last 2 days by like all these NBA reporters that they're saying that Jalen Brown doesn't want to play in Milwaukee. So they're trying to work out a facilitation of him being traded somewhere else and turns into a 3-team deal.
Oh, hi, baby. There's your baby. Hey, Cooper, there's your daughter. There she is. Oh, that's fine. Hey, Sugarfoot.
Say hi.
Now, don't touch nothing. We are done.
But they were saying that it started to come out that he doesn't want to go to Milwaukee. So what Brad Stevens is trying to do is facilitate the best 3-team deal that gets Giannis to Boston and they get Jalen Brown somewhere where the Bucks can still get a lot of return.
Bucks are going to get a haul no matter what deal they take. They're going to have to accept the fact they're going into a rebuild. But it starts with getting they need to get multiple picks for this draft. This draft. Go get it. You can get a lot of good pieces from this draft, and we can talk about that later.
Like this reporter said that what the Celtics are trying to do is they're trying to pull off acquiring Giannis and Trey Murphy. And they've been acquiring the interest in New Orleans for Derek White and Jalen Brown to see what kind of interest they would have. And it says that this other page says the smoke is real, and the Celtics are looking for a 3rd team to take Jalen Brown because he does not want to go to Milwaukee.
That's fair. I wouldn't want to go to Milwaukee either.
And it says it came out today via The Athletic that Giannis is open to signing a long-term extension with Boston,
Of
which is
course he is.
the first team that they've said that he's open to signing, other than Golden State, that he's open to signing an extension to. And it says the Athletic reported that the Bucks would then reroute Jalen Brown to a third team for a haul of prospects and picks, is what they're trying to do.
Sounds like he going to Oklahoma City. That's the only team that's got enough juice for him.
It depends on how much they. I mean, if they could get somebody like Derek White, just as an example, and then they're able to reroute Jalen Brown to I don't know, maybe they trade Jalen Brown to Miami, and Miami gives up Hero like they've been talking about in that package.
Yeah. All of it is, it's smoke right now. But I think those are all. Oh God, the Celtics, they just get on my nerve. They can't keep getting away with this.
So here's my last one for you. I've asked this question in our group chat, and I asked you about it off camera. Is Mitch Johnson the Spurs version of Mark Jackson, where he may not be able to get them over the hump, but the next coach, maybe it is a Steve Kerr returning to San Antonio, where he did win a ring as a player and played for Pop, and the Warriors are looking to move on from him at some point. Does it come full circle where he did it to Mark Jackson, and then now he's going to do it to Mitch Johnson?
Steve Kerr is going to retire when Steph Curry's done. That's just where I think that's going to land. Mitch Johnson, I'm not going to doubt the guy's ability because he clearly can coach. It's just I really think we're all wrapping up in this moment of him having his foot down and the moment of the pressure of the moment. The guy's in his first finals, and he's a first-year coach, full-time coach. That is difficult to do. So
this is your full year too, technically.
Yeah, this is your full year. So you got 60 wins. We beat the Thunder in 7 games. We're the Knicks. So we're gonna take.
So Pop in 2024, 2025, Pop stepped down after 5 games. So Mitch Johnson coached 77 games that season. They won 32 and 45, missed the playoffs, but they were still in tank mode.
Yep.
And then Wemby got hurt too. And then this year, second, basically full season, because 5 games is nothing. They won 62 and 20 and made the NBA Finals. So
Mitch Johnson I think he's built to do this. So he just needs to find the groove that works best for him. He needs to block out the noise, and he needs to just make smart choices in that moment. Because playing Wemby 44 minutes in that game was just not smart.
Since I brought up Mark Jackson, 23 and 43 in 66 games his first season when he took over and on an interim basis. Second year, 47 and 35, lost in the conference semifinals, and then 2013-14 he went 51 and 31, lost in the first round, was fired.
Yeah, Mark Jackson is don't that good of a coach. That's just
why did he get basically blackballed from the NBA? Why is he
no idea? I have no idea. I have no idea. That whole situation was goofy. And when something is goofy, there's always 2 sides of it. So something internally happened and he was blackballed for some weird reason.
But he did TV and he does TV still.
Yeah, so he's still making his money.
Yeah, but still. Here's a good Mitch Johnson quote for you that he said today, speaking of he goes, "I don't get into social media. I've probably been fired 212 times, and we've traded Fox 72 times. That people have their opinions. I don't care. De'Aaron Fox will have the basketball in his hands at the end of the game tomorrow."
I hear what he's saying, but he has to understand. Dylan Harper is playing better. Do what you got to do, big dog, but I digress.
The other interesting quote I've seen today, if you want to comment on it before we hop off, is Somebody asked if the Wizards draft AJ Dybantsa, will the Wizards make the playoffs next year? And he said, if they draft me, we'll make the playoffs.
That's not a horrible thing to say because in the East, I don't think it's going to be that hard. And a fully healthy Wizards team with Trae Young and Anthony Davis is going to be good.
Did you see what Trae Young said about that? He said that we'll be the one seed. He said we'll be the one seed in the East.
Atlanta was like a 3 seed, and he didn't have the star power that he's got now. So who's to say Detroit was the 1 seed this year? So to say they can't. I'm not going to disagree with him, but I'm definitely not going to agree with him.
I agree in the fact that he's probably being what he said is probably right, that he's being slept on as a player because he's been injured the last couple of years. I think there's a lot of doubt over Anthony Davis's health, and if he even wants to be there, and if he does want to be there with him and AJ Dybantsa, that takes a lot of pressure off AJ Dybantsa right off the bat. And if AJ Dybantsa only has to if AJ Dybantsa only has to be a
slasher.
Well, I was gonna say, if he only has to play a Dylan Harper type role, where he's like 12, 15 a game, is not gonna knock him at all. And they already have Trey Johnson who can score. They have Kabale who can score. Like, they have depth and talent. They have Alex Sarr too. Like,
yeah, the Wizards are not going to be short of talent. Where they're going to be short is, can they put those pieces together? And does Anthony Davis want to play at that high level? Because when AD is locked in, the paint is locked. I'm telling you, I've seen it. I've seen it live.
Yep, I've seen it too. Trust me. He only played 20 games for my Mavs or whatever it is.
And I remember how good he was too. Anyway, I gotta go. I gotta get to bed. Graveyard tonight, baby.
Dre, you wanna end this for us?
Make sure every single beautiful face in here likes and subscribe. There have been Hoops After Dark. I'm your boy, DeAndre Henderson, and with me today has been my boy, Mike Cooper. Sam, we miss you. Where you been, bro?
Sam's focused on the World Cup right now.
Yeah, he is. He's locked in on soccer right now, so I'll let him live. But he'll be back soon. We'll all be back soon. You guys have a wonderful day. Peace.
Deuces.